Hi there, this is going to be a short tutorial on the major and minor pentatonic scales. So we're going to start with the names of the notes on the sixth string. Your open string is E, first fret is F, third fret is G. If you already know your open chords and you know how to play a G chord, the G note is the note you're holding on the sixth string and the third fret. One way to remember the names of the notes on the sixth string is this little phrase. There's G, so it's guitars. The next dot is A, R, and the next fret is B, bad. Guitars are bad. Now the fret right next to B without a dot is C. And the next fret without a dot is D. So I'll put those two together. C, D, compact disc, like a CD. Guitars are bad, compact disc. When you get to your double dot, that's your octave E, the same as your open string, just a higher sound. Once you get to there, the neck starts all over again. This first dot was G, so this first dot is G. A, B, B, and so on. The pentatonic shape, I'm going to use the fifth fret as an example. That's my A fret. And the way the shape works is on the first two strings, you're going to skip two frets. We want to go from the highest sounding note down to the lowest. So I'm going to start with the highest numbered fret and then the lower one. So the higher number fret is 8 and the lower one is 5. Same thing on the second string, 8, 5. The next three strings are 7, 5. Top and bottom strings are always the same, so I go back to 8 and 5. It's okay to shift your hand back and forth. You don't have to try to stretch. And that's a good exercise to do, whether you're using your little finger or your third finger, just to get used to shifting back and forth. There are 3 root notes in that scale. We know we have an A on the first string, 5th fret, and we have the same thing on the 6th string. The way to find the A note in the middle of the scale quickly is to form the shape of your F chord. If you learned your open chords, you know this is F. That's a movable chord. You can move it up the neck. F sharp, G, G sharp, A. If you look at where your third finger is, it's on the 4th string and the 7th fret. That's where your root note is in the middle of the scale, so that's A. When you play the shape with your first finger in the A fret, that can either be played as A minor if you go by where your first finger is. Your first finger is the minor finger. If you go by where the 4th finger is, that's in the C fret. So that shape would give you the sound of C major. The major pentatonic is going to have more of a country sound. So if I play a C chord and then play those notes, it's going to have a country sound. If I play those same notes against an A minor chord, it's going to have the sound of an A minor scale, which is more bluesy sounding. To me, the minor has kind of a sassy sound to it. Whereas the major has more of a happy sound, kind of a country sound. So the sound of those notes is going to change depending on whether there's a C chord playing against it or an A minor playing against it. The C major and A minor are called relative keys, which means they share the same notes in the scale. So that's why when you play those notes, it can be used for either A minor or C major. The big difference when you're improvising is that when you're in A minor, you want to emphasize your A notes for your ending. So we have our A note there on the middle of the scale, or on the first string, or on the sixth string. Now when you switch to your major, now the root notes are in a different place. Now the C note is 8th fret on the first string, 8th fret on the 6th string, and the C note that's in the middle of the scale is now moved to the 3rd string, 5th fret. So there's our C note. What that means is you want to reconfigure your licks so that you think of your root note as home bass, in this case C. So we want to end up on a C note. There are other notes you can end on, but when you're first getting started, you want to really know where those root notes are and focus on ending your licks on those notes, and then you can go from there. So the way to remember major and minor is your first finger is number 1. 1 is a small number, so the small you think of minor. Your pinky is finger number 4, which is a bigger number, and when you think of bigger, you think of major. So if you want to play, for example, D major pentatonic, you know you're going to use your pinky because that's your major finger, and that's the finger that's going to go in the D fret. And when you put all 4 fingers down in their own frets, you'll see where your first finger ends up. In this case, it's the 7th fret. So that's your D major. If I want a D minor, that means the minor finger, the small number 1, is going to go in the 10th fret. That's your D fret. So that means your pinky, if you put all 4 fingers down, it's going to go in the 13th fret. If you're an A minor, your first finger is your minor finger, it's going to go in the A fret. If you want G minor, your first finger in the G fret. Now if you want G major, that means the pinky is going to be in the G fret, but now we've run out of frets. So we don't have to use the first finger anymore. What we're going to do is use the open string. So the open G major is 3-0, 3-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0. And the G major and the E minor are relative keys, so you could use that open version of the scale for either G major or if I play it against an E or an E minor chord. And if I end my licks on E notes, it's going to fit with that E chord. So I hope that helps you understand the major and minor pentatonics, which finger you use, what the names of the frets are, and you just go from there. Thank you.